Now we're going to begin your final drawing. So you've picked your favorite thumbnail sketch to transfer to your final paper, and we're going to use one of the 8.5 by 11 papers. You just need your pencils and erasers now. And the goal is to transfer the relationships of size and scale from your thumbnail small drawing, enlarge it, and to fill your 8.5 by 11 paper, maintaining the same relationship of size or proportions of your negative and positive space. In drawing now, we're going to be working still lightly and quickly, first starting with your gesture line sketch, moving into your shape gesture sketch, into angling and sighting and blockout shape. So begin with your light gesture line drawing, making sure that you're moving quickly, taking about 30 seconds to assess where the form is going in space. And then on top of that, for about maybe a minute worth of work, still very lightly begin to summarize the basic shapes within the shapes, the small shapes of the knuckles, the cylinders of the digits of the hand, and so on. Then consider the blockout shape, the whole outer shape of your hand, and think about after that taking time to revise for a few minutes. All told, this should take about maybe 5 minutes, a very quick movement. The angling and sighting part of your drawing at this point might also begin to help you start to assess, revise, and erase. Now, what you want to begin to think about when you're doing the angling and sighting is a bit more overall proportional relationships. When you're working with your own hand and you're in your own situation, not only do you want to maintain the same fixed point of view of your subject, so if you're going to draw your fist over here, you could take a photo of it to help you keep in check, but you also just might want to maintain your hand or your other non-dominant hand in a very easy to hold position nearby. But do maintain the same fixed point of view to maintain your proportions and your relationship and perspective. When you're thinking about the hand in general, do recognize that the part of the palm, the lower part of the palm, is equal to the height of the individual fingers and digits. This is a one-to-one relationship and proportion. Then the fingers and the digits themselves have a very nice relationship that's generally summarized sort of like lower digit, upper digit, though you have 2 digit separations to consider. You have a lower digit area that's about half the length, then your upper digit area is about 2/3 to 1/3 based on the knuckles and where those are located. So those are things you can consider as you're trying to build up your relationships, even if your hand is doing something kind of crazy and different and fun. One of the other relationships to consider is when fully extended, the thumb is generally a 45-degree angle from the tip of your other finger. Look also for these arcing lines of the tips of your fingers. Your knuckles might also be an arcing line that you want to look for. Where are those going in space? Often not a straight line. The other line of action to really consider in proportions and sighting and angling is what angle are the beginning knuckles at? What angle are these knuckles at as well? And summarizing those in one quick gesture line will really start to help build up connections amongst the parts in your drawing. Once you have the underdrawing completed, your line gesture, shape gesture, and proportional angling and sighting revisions, now you want to start to look at the planar analysis of values and shapes. What you need to do first is set up a really strong light source. So you might want to use a clip light or a lamp and have that set up to give you strong highlights and cast shadows. We are also going to think about the shape of your cast shadows on a table or a nearby surface as part of your drawing. And you're looking to have highlights, midtones, and cast shadows so that you have at least 3 values, maybe 3 to 5 values, revealing the form in space. And in order to create the illusion of an object coming out of the flatness of the page, you need 3 to 4 to 5 values to reveal that form and create the illusion of something being 3-dimensional. When you're looking at planar analysis, you're beginning to, again, summarize into basic shapes like you did with shape gesture. And in this case, you're looking for the really basic shapes of light, midtone, and dark, or light, midtone, quarter tone, and dark, with the basic shapes of the lights and darks, the values. You might find yourself really analyzing and summarizing these shapes as basic geometric shapes, or blobby shapes, amorphous shapes. Either way, they want to be closed summaries. To help you do this, I encourage you to squint your eyes a little bit, and you'll start to be able to see generalized, summarized shapes of dark and light and value much better. What you don't want to do is get stuck in details at this point. In doing these gesture drawings and planar analysis, you probably want to be working with your general pencil for lighter marks, and use your pencil at the end. When you want to get darker marks, press with your index finger near the pencil point. And when you're drawing lightly and loosely, it's really good to draw and hold the pencil from the back. But as you begin to transition into planar analysis and value shapes, transition to the ebony pencil, because you can get some darker darks, a nice meatier, beefier kind of values and tones. So again, hold the pencil from the back, and maybe when you're going for darker values, use the pencil on its side. Use your index finger to press down on the pencil point to get darker darks. The more you vary your pressure, the more you're able to get a range of values. So this pencil can make very light lines and light marks, and it can make very dark areas as well. As you're working, I want you to consider also drawing with the cross contour or the curve of the form. You're dealing with a biomorphic object, the hand, and everything is very curved with the skin and the knuckles, so you actually want to draw with the curve. So as you're working, you might actually want to put your values and your shading on the form in a way that curves with the form. Think about practicing with this pencil ahead of time. What are the darkest marks you can make and what are the lightest marks you can make as well? When you're practicing that, you might want to hold the pencil again from the back and really try to get your lightest marks by pressing very little. And then to get your darkest marks, press as hard as you can, using your index finger near the pencil point and working on the side of the pencil, not the tip. If you hold your pencil like this, you're only going to get lines, and you're only going to get really, really focused points. What we want to eventually get are value shapes. And then begin to smear those shapes. Maybe use your erasers to also modify those shapes. Thank you for joining me for this drawing workshop by Hand Expressive Drawing. I hope you remember you can draw anything using these drawing techniques and steps. I look forward to seeing what you draw. I hope you upload them to the gallery.